Ira Epstein of Linn Associates, back from the vacation, the Memorial Day, so I hope you're all doing fine. And today we're talking about the agriculture markets, and we are now at about 4:20 p.m. this May 28th, Tuesday, 2019. Now, the big event of the day was the crop report. The market was looking for crops to all be behind. They were. 58% of the corn is now planted, about 32% of the soybeans, but those numbers are behind where they normally are. The other thing that we have to be looking at and consider is what occurs right here in weather, because the next 6 to 10 day forecast is going to be very, very important. And I'm still seeing precipitation, but not as bad as we've had. So we'll see tomorrow as we keep getting further into these 6 and 10 day forecasts as to where you're at. Will the market open higher tomorrow off the report? That's going to be the big question. As you can see, the corn market up 16 cents. Now, the 450 area is 13 cents away in the D's corn. You're about 30 cents away in the July. There's a number up here where the farmers will start a certain degree of forward selling or hedging to make sure that they take advantage of this. You know, the one thing I've learned in all my years of trading is that it's the exception that a weather market lasts through the summer and that all of a sudden you don't see your crops doing a bit better. That's all that I'm saying. I am not saying it can't happen. You'd be foolish to say that, but that's what seems to be going on. Another day up in most of the energies with the exception of natural gas because it's cooler. Not getting that hot weather. So as we look at a weekly chart of soybeans, you can see how the market went from $7.97 and we've come back up now nearly 60 cents overall. That's a heck of a bounce, but I still say that on the weekly chart, this 877 area is waiting. It'll be very formidable, I think, in resistance if it can get up there. As you can see, you had a gap in the chart today. Now, gaps tend to get filled. So we will see if this market can continue or if it wants to slip back down and fill that gap in the market. We also have a pattern of a lower low and a higher high. You're not in a trend. You have been trading 8 days, 9 days, at the 18-day average of closes. You gapped away from it today with the weather sequence. Not to be unexpected. A lot of traders didn't know what to make out of this weekend. Now that you're up here, the question is, can the market hold or where's the resistance? And I say the resistance is literally where you're at. The upper Bollinger Band, that number came in at 853.5. You're 2.5 cents over it. I wouldn't be surprised if this market runs into its first leg of resistance. Let's assume I'm wrong, though. And let's assume the market wants to run. Well, I guess you're saying that maybe you can get to the $9 mark. I'm not saying that, but that could be what the market says if you got continued bad weather. And what a surprise that would be because our soybean farmers are hurting so bad. When you take a look at the slow stochastic reading, you're overbought. So what I see is a market that has a lower low, a higher high, a weather event happened, kicked the market up as we got back, missing a day of trade yesterday, and the question is, can it hang on to that? In the meal market, it's sort of similar, but not the same. Let me show what I mean. We're going to come back here to Friday. You can see how the action is. You had higher lows, lower highs in the market. Now, the question is, if you get up to the upper Bollinger Band, what I teach is often that's where the pros sell part of their positions off, and I'm not going to change from that. Remember, that number will change on the opening. It's a live dynamic number. You're still way over it. You're $5 over that number, but overbought at over the upper 100-day average, the Bollinger Band. I see this market, yeah, can go higher, but I think the pros are taking some money off the table. Soybean oil is still a market with lower highs, lower lows, but today you closed over that 18-day average. Notice how you were fighting every day at that 18-day average. If you close back under it, it's bearish. To negate the downtrend, you got to take out 27.79. In the corn market, you're just screaming to the upside. Now, let's take off today's action. I've made this narrower on this chart because the extension is so big it just doesn't fit in on the chart right, but you can see how you've gone. So you've taken a market from the 341 level over here all the way up 80, 90 cents. I'm not saying it can't go higher. But if I had farmers out there working with us, we'd be telling them, slowly be putting out some forward sales or hedges, assuming you think your crop's going to come in. And most people will think their crop's going to come in. In the wheat market, you're overbought, over the upper Bollinger Band, so you've gotten a little excessive. Here a market came in from this 420 zone and has gone up just 85 cents. I mean, these are big moves in the grain markets. The sugar market, in the meantime, has a pattern of higher lows and higher highs, just can't seem to close over that 18-day average. That's the resistance. If it closes over it, with momentum trying to turn up, the market could catch some upside at that point, so that's going to be the key. And maybe you're talking wherever that Bollinger Band comes in as a resistance point. There's a change in coffee, and I know that we talked about it last week, and I'm staying with what I said. I think this market is saying this area got too cheap, and away you go. Now, you are overbought. You're back up and over the upper Bollinger Band. You know my thoughts on that. If you had been riding that and trying or under it in the past and you were looking for follow through, you didn't get it. Could you? Yes. But what I teach is the pros often come out of the Bollinger Band. If it's an uptrend, they look at that 18-day average for support. On the way back up, you just hit the Bollinger Band again. I think that the market is again on Friday, actually. I think some of the pros took some money off the table there. Same in cocoa. Up to this Bollinger Band area, haven't pulled into major support. Are we embedding? Well, embedding means both numbers in the slow stochastic are going over 80 for at least several days. You have today both over 80. You had yesterday over 80, not the day before. I'll view it as an overbought market into serious resistance, trend up. In the cotton market, it finally did its job. And I didn't know if this was going to do it. It was so far away. This was the bearish embedded reading. So the market comes up and loses it right here and continues. Now, it's got to rally almost 400 points to get there. And I'm sure I said, I don't know. But my gosh, take a look at what happened. Market went right to it. And that's where I think the pros came out of their contra-trend trade. And I think they're sidelined right now. So today was an important day. In the cattle market, I thought you had a bullish enough cattle on feed to support the market, but I'm wrong. You were down on the day 17 points. You have an outside day down. To get the market thinking maybe back to the upside, I think you look at whatever today's high is, and it was 109.40. If it's taken out on Wednesday or Thursday, I think this becomes a base for the market to try to work higher. If that's not taken out, what happens is the market right here in this pattern will probably try to make the run to the lower Bollinger Band. You're at a real interesting spot here. Feeder cattle still in a downtrend. Lower highs, right? Or is it in a downtrend? I got higher lows. I don't have a trend at work in the market. I've got it just narrowing in, went up to the 18-day average, couldn't hold it. The question is, will the Bollinger Band support the market? Should this market get up and close back over this 18-day average and take out 144.30, you can get an absolute spin in the whole way you're looking at it. In the hog market, still on the way down. And we don't have the Chinese market right here. This market's coming down. Now there's a new problem. Higher feed costs for these pigs. Now remember, before we were looking at a market in corn that was what, 60, 70 cents, 80 cents lower, right? Now that same corn has gotten expensive. Now what do? Do you want to do a lot of breeding of these pigs, or are you better off in your corn market selling it? Corn is not a big Chinese import. It's our soybeans that are, and obviously meal. So as you look at what's going on through here, what does that farmer do if he's going to feed that corn to his pig? I think he's got to figure out which way to go with it. Remember my charting course. This is the week that the sale still goes. The sale will probably end by Sunday of this coming week. The course normally runs nearly $170, $169.95. You get the charting software. You're going to get the videos. The videos are the whole key to the course. It's 54 videos, and in the videos, you see what I do. You do the same thing. It's rote. We're going to go back in time, and then what I do is each morning of the course, I include my daily videos. So you're able to see each morning When I get up, I start recording roughly at 6:15 in the morning. By 7, they're typically posted. You get to see what you're learning in today's environment and how that's playing out. So you get all this instant access to my research. You're going to get our charting software, assuming you haven't tried either of our versions. If you tried one, we'll give you the other one. If you took them both, the vendors won't let me give it away for the course. I'm sorry about that. But in most cases, it's not a problem. Special holiday pricing, almost half off. $99.95. I'm telling you, it's a limited time, and then after that, it's going to be a very long time before I put another special on it. So if you like what I do here, why not learn so you can do it yourself? It's really that simple. I'm Ira Epstein. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. As you see right through here, under the word education, you'll see Ira's charting course. Go there. You can always call my staff. They'll help you with it in any case that you want to go with. But it takes regular credit cards, PayPal, so you can get it a bunch of ways. I'm Ira Epstein. Have a great day.